All right. Welcome back to my channel. So I have not been on for a while. I've been really busy with stuff. And I promised to finish the my video game at some point. It'll be finished. I'm almost done with the game anyways. But I'm starting a new project. So me, my girlfriend, my family, and my sister's friends are going to California in a few months. And I thought it would be a very fun adventure for me and my girlfriend because we're going to Disneyland, Adventureland, and Universal Studios. And I thought it'd be pretty fun for us to watch all the movies based on the rides there. And this is not going to count for all the rides there because there's just too many rides, and not all of them have movies like Space Mountain or It's a Small World After All. Those will get movies or plays I've read sometime later, but just not now. So those won't be included. And I'm also not going to include like how can I say it? Like stations that they might have there. So like shows and stuff like that for Adventureland and Disneyland. I'm just gonna do the rides. And so yeah, me and my girlfriend are watching 23 movies for Disneyland. All right, quick update to that number. It is not 23 films, it will be 20 films. I'll talk about it later on in the video as to why I changed the movie schedule kind of list. But let's continue. Based on the rides. Say hi, babe.
Hello.
So yeah, that is her. Her name is Yenny. We're gonna start off with the Haunted Mansion. So Haunted Mansion came out in 2003, and it has Eddie Murphy in it. What'd you think about it, babe?
It was pretty good. I liked it. I say that it kind of reminded me of Beauty and the Beast with the whole setup of a castle and like the main ghost character that was looking for his wife again. He's kind of like the Beast. Then I know you don't agree with me, but
Yeah, you're wrong. It's nothing like Beauty and the Beast. Okay, they're dead. They're ghosts. And well, yeah, that's about it. It's not a castle. It's just a mansion. But
yeah, but it's close enough. And then you have the girl that has the dress, and you have the two that from Beauty and the Beast. It's the candle and the clock. Well, in this one, it was the maid and or was it the maid? No, she was more like the cook and the butler. I'm assuming. No, who was the guy that that was like helping out the kids?
I forgot his name, but he was also he was a butler. No, he wasn't the butler. He was
Because the butler was
I
a
don't know.
bad one.
Yeah, I guess he is the butler. I don't know. I don't know who he is. He's a servant. He's just a servant. So
Yeah, the two servants. I don't know. It was good though. I liked it.
yeah, I like it too. And that one's based off of the ride of the same name, the Haunted Mansion.
Yes, I'm
And there's
excited.
also yes, I'm so excited for you to see that one. That one's really fun. There's also a Muppets version of the Haunted Mansion, and then there's a new one coming out with Rosario Dawson.
Who's Rosario Dawson?
Um, I don't know who you would recognize her from, but she's Ahsoka right now in Star Wars, and she's gonna have her own show, Ahsoka, of the same name. And then she's also in the shows I'm watching with the Netflix Marvel superheroes. I think she's a big nerd, which is pretty cool. She comes out
Yeah.
in all these projects. Yep. Now jumping to our next film, Dumbo, 1941, based off of well, no, Dumbo the Flying Elephant is based off Dumbo of 1941. So for that one, the crows, I thought an interesting fact was the crows were played by an African American actors and singers of all of the popular all black Hall Johnson Choir, which is pretty cool because I thought the crows were gonna be played by white people because that's how it was back then. Because this movie is really old and it was made during more racist period. And then now there's like a discretion whenever you watch that movie. In the beginning, talking about like those ideas back then aren't the same of Disney's now. What'd you
Yeah.
think about this one?
It was nice. I mean, this one I have seen before. It was still sad though when they like the whole thing with like Dumbo and his mom. But I liked it. It was nice. It was. I understand what you meant by like back then, like how racist it was, and I was
Yeah,
also surprised that they even included them. But also, that's why they included them as animals and not actual people.
because there's supposed to be like a representation of Jim Crow. Because I think
Yeah,
one of the
Jim
crows
Crow.
Jim, and then one of them was a crow.
Yeah, so I'm not that surprised that they included them as animals.
Hmm.
But I mean, those were the times back then.
But yeah, it was sad. I had to rewatch it again just to clarify. Some of these movies I fell asleep halfway through, and then I had to rewatch them on my own. I rewatched this one, and it was sad. I was about to cry. It's definitely my dad's favorite film for sure. And I know you haven't seen the remake version of it. Have you actually?
No, I have not.
No. Um, I saw the remake version, and I like this version better. I mean, no offense to Tim Burton, I love his films. It's just the version was just better. All right, and then with our next film, The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. So this one revolves around the ride of Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, and this is a pretty old movie. It came out in 1949. Um, and I'm pretty sure Mr. Toad was the first one to come out in the between the two. Anyways, that was pretty interesting. I thought it was pretty funny that this Toad had a mansion. Um, yeah, what do you think about this?
I really liked it. I really liked the animation of it, and it reminded me of a book that I used to read all the time when I was a kid. I think it was like the Frog and the Toad, or Frog is and Toad are friends, or something like that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I forgot the name too, but this character is based off of the 1908 novel, The Wind and the Willows.
Oh, well, he kind of dressed the same, so I just thought they were the same or similar at least. And
Yeah,
I
they are
really
pretty
liked
similar.
that book as a kid. So watching
Hmm.
this animation, I really enjoyed it.
Don't they have multiple books of that one? I know there's
They
like memes
do
of it.
memes. They do,
Yeah.
yeah. That have seen memes on it too. Yeah, they have different like it's a series, I think.
Hmm.
So each adventure is a different book.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Um, Also, so the other short in that movie with Ichibod. That one has to do with the headless horseman. Um, as the kids say nowadays, Ichibod has a lot of riz. He was over there talking to every woman in the town. He was eating all their food and just that was the whole reason he just was like hanging out with them and stuff.
He was living his best life. I think that one was so funny to me because they drew him so funny. Like he
Hmm.
has long limbs and his hair,
Yeah,
and
he was just funny looking.
he was very funny looking. Um, I that one is I would say it's just weird. Like I didn't expect it to turn out like that, and like the ending of him.
Oh yeah. Of either he died or he just went to go marry some other farmer, some wife. I
Right,
don't know.
like that was. I don't know about that one. I feel like it didn't flow as well because it didn't like really go together. And I
Yeah.
always thought it was weird that they combined the two, like the Toad and that one. Like
Yeah,
why combine them?
I think they just did it to make a feature length film, mostly. I mean, they do that often. I remember there was this few other shorts that they put together for Disney. I have to show you those. Those are my favorite. Melody Time was one of them. They have a bunch of musical shorts together.
The music.
Um, but yeah, I thought that one was pretty good. Mr. Toad was funny. Ichiban, the song was very catchy for sure. Um, but yeah, so in our next film, Who Framed Roger Rabbit of 1988, in we're so how do you explain this? The ride that this one evolves around is Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin. But I did hear that they might be removing that ride.
Did you hear why?
No, I didn't hear why. Like when I was doing some research, all I saw was that they might make the main focus Jessica Rabbit or something like that.
Oh.
Um, what you call it? Oh, did you know that the main actor for the movie kept imagining the characters after production, after like the production wrap, because he had to imagine them the entire time when filming?
No, I did not know that. That's pretty crazy too.
Yeah. I really like this movie though. I like that they bring in all these 2D characters into our 3D world. Um, I always found it really cool that they could do that back then, and like back then it wasn't so common for them to do so, like how they do so in the Looney Tunes Back in Action, and then how they do so in Space Jams.
Oh, I did not like Space Jam.
No, you
I
didn't
was
like
like
them?
that yeah, like I don't know. Maybe I'm just not a fan of when they combine things like that with like the realistic world and the
And Looney
cartoon
Tune World.
world.
So, did you
Yeah,
not like this one?
well, that one I did like. It, like I thought it was pretty good. Like how they, because was it one of the first ones that they did?
I'm pretty sure it was.
For it to be one of the first ones, I think it was really good. But I did not like the other one. The
No,
space. What was it? You said Space Jam.
Space
I don't
Jam.
even know the name.
I know they had a lot of trouble because the guy who was directing, I think he didn't know what he was doing, and then he just brought in like the other guy who does the animation. He's like, "Oh, here," because he just put a bunch of green screen in, and then the guy who came in to start animating, he was like, "What? Why did you do all this? That it doesn't make sense for you to do that."
Yeah,
Because he had like normal people in green screen suits, like playing basketball with Michael Jordan and stuff like that. And then when he asked the animators, like, "Oh, make that guy Tweety Bird," the animator was like, "What? That doesn't make sense. How am I gonna make a grown man a Tweety Bird?"
yeah. I mean, I don't know how animation works, but that sounds very complicated.
Yeah. All right. Now on to our next film, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, 1937. This was Disney's first feature-length film, and it's one of many Disney's adaptations of the stories from Brothers Grimm.
Yes, I low key wish that they would do films based off of the actual stories. Like I know they would be more dark and grim, and probably Disney can't do them, but because of the whole to make it for kids. But I would think that would be more interesting. I did like this one though. For like its era, for the time that it came out, I think it's also pretty good. And I don't know, I've never really been a big fan of princess movies. Never really watched them growing up, but this one was pretty good.
Yeah, I really like this one. I really love the dwarves, and then I don't know if you can see it, but you could tell that they had a stronger animation for the dwarves because they're more loony, so they're more cartoonish, and Disney's like all over that. But for Snow White and for the other human, like the more human characters, they seem to be like sketched out kind of weirdly.
Yeah, I did laugh whenever she was running through the forest and she was like getting scared by everything. Like
Hmm.
her face expression and her hair just it looked so
Yeah,
funny. It didn't I don't know, it was just funny looking.
I'm pretty sure they used something like um where they had somebody like do the physical movements and then later they'll project that and then sketch it and kind of do like an outline of that. And I'm pretty sure that's why she looks different compared to everybody else in their movements.
Yeah. And then the terrible ending of the witch.
Yeah, she just left it alone. Honestly, she didn't even have to use magic. She could have just killed her with a knife, snuck in as an old hag if she wanted to, and just stab her.
She
She could
made
have
it
gotten
10
a.
times harder.
She made it 10 times harder. Then what she did was she dressed up as a witch, as a hag, right? Goes in, takes forever for her to eat the apple. If she just went in there, stabbed her, left, she would have been long gone before the dwarfs got to her.
Right. And she didn't even have to change into a witch. She could have just gone in her normal form. She didn't even have
Uh,
to go to the forest. Like she was already living in the castle with her. Just go to her room and do it.
yeah, she made it more complicated by taking the huntsman to go kill her, to kill Snow White. It's like, if you want the job done right, you got to do it yourself, you know?
Yeah. But I mean it's a story. It's supposed to have a plot and climax and everything. So
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then this one's based on the Snow White's Enchanted Wish. That's what this one revolves around of. Also, I forgot to mention that Snow White is also my mom's favorite Disney movie. Now on to our next movie, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh from 1977, and there's a ride in Disneyland with the same name. So this one I enjoyed a lot in the beginning, but as it kept going, it felt very long. You know what I mean?
yeah, like it just I think it was one of the longest we've seen so far. We're going down the list.
It
um
yeah.
because I think it was more than an hour long.
Yeah, it felt a lot longer. And they were just like little shorts of it. I mean I enjoyed it in the beginning. I thought Winnie the Pooh was very adorable.
It was cute, but it kind of looks like there's a trend going on with Disney movies where like the main characters are very self-centered. Or
You thought he was self-centered?
I mean, he wanted to make sure that he was part of the story when he was talking about turning the pages. And he was like, "Well, wait, am I in the next page?" And it's always about him and his honey. I think it's very self-centered.
Yeah, I can see that. Also, did you know that he's now in the public domain? That anybody accuse him? I mean, that's how we got the horror movie. What was it? We Need Blood and Honey.
I want to watch that movie. I have not watched it yet, but
Yeah, I
no,
heard
I
it
did not
sucks,
know.
but it only took like what 8 weeks of production or something like that. It's a very short amount of time to make, so I'm pretty sure that's why it sucks. But yeah, I'm down to watch it.
We are gonna watch it together.
Okay, great. All right, on to our next film, Pinocchio from 1940. I love Pinocchio, first of all. Um, I really enjoy the story, but you said earlier, and now I just can't get it out of my mind, that it's just random scenario after random scenario that he goes through.
Yeah, it was so random. Like I at no point did I know where it was heading. I'm like, how does it go from like his father looking for him to his father ending up at the bottom of the sea in the whale? Like, what? Like, where is the correlation? Where was he looking for him that he thought he was gonna be in the ocean? What?
Yeah, I don't know. And then, oh my God, he was like what, a day old, and Jiminy Cricket was already like frustrated with him. He's less than a day old, and of course he isn't gonna know right or wrong. So of course he isn't gonna listen to you at first.
And I don't know why the father think or I mean thought that it was a good idea to take him to school. And why didn't he go and drop him off at school? Like why would he think it was okay for him to walk to school? Like how was he supposed to know where the school was to begin with and like how everything worked? Like it was his first day of being alive.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I thought the cat was so cute. He was so adorable.
Yeah. The cat and the fish.
Hmm. Um, do you remember last year they made like three Pinocchio movies? One with Guillermo del Toro, then the other one with Tom Hanks, and then the other one with Pauly Shore. I think that's his name.
I just know there was a bunch of them that came out. I have seen one. I think it was more like Christmas related. I'm not sure which one I saw, but it was animated as well. I think this is the first time that I actually see like the original.
Yeah, for sure, it's the best one. I didn't care to see the remake with Tom Hanks, and Pauly Shore was just weird sounding, and Guillermo del Toro is just too detached, I think, from like the Disney version, of course. I mean, I like his work. except for Nightmare Alley. That one was kind of a disappointment for me. But other than that, he makes great movies.
Yeah. Yeah, he does.
All right, and to our next film, Peter Pan from 1953. This movie is incredibly racist.
Oh, so racist. And again, with the trending theme of like him being very self-centered. Like at no point did he ever think about anybody else but himself. Like he wasn't even when he was like supposedly saving the tiger princess or tiger lady,
Tiger Lily?
tiger lily. He was just like he wanted to fight the the what was the
Captain
captain?
Hook?
Captain Hook.
Captain Hook.
He wanted to fight him, and then the girl was like, what about Tiger Lily? Like that's what we were here for. And he was like, oh, right, yeah, about her. Like I feel like it was just always self-centered in his mindset. Like he never really thought of like, oh, let me go save someone, but it was more like causing chaos or like fighting. What's his mindset?
Oh yeah, and then they just bullied Wendy the entire time that she was in Neverland.
For no reason. Like there was no reason to be that rude to her. Like she was supposed to be like the most like obsessed and knows all the stories and basically that was like her idol. And she was just treated so badly throughout the whole process.
Yeah, I guess that's right. There's that saying, "Never meet your heroes" or something like that.
Oh yeah, true. And it was super racist. So
Oh
racist.
yeah,
The whole Indian part, like unnecessary.
oh yeah. Um, oh yeah. So they forgot to mention about Pinocchio. Before I forget, it's surrounding the story of Pinocchio's daring journey. That's the ride for Disneyland. And then for Peter Pan, it is Peter Pan's flight.
Do the rides include any of like the racist stuff?
Um, I wouldn't think so. Hopefully not when we go to write it. Um, did you ever see the weird prequel with Hugh Jackman, Pan?
Nope.
Nope. Uh, it's kind of odd. Captain Hook is a Western like cowboy in that one or something like that. I don't know. It's overall it's just weird. It's just like shouldn't have been made. Hugh Jackman though, he's really good. He's always good in everything he's in.
Yeah.
And then there's also they're making a new remake of it. I'm getting kind of tired of Disney's reboot of classic Disney films.
Yeah. It's like they ran out of ideas, so they're changing the ideas that they do have.
Yeah, I believe other movies deserve reboots, like Atlantis. I think that one needs a live action reboot.
Oh yeah. That one definitely does. That was a good one.
All right, and on to our next film, Alice in Wonderland from 1951, which has two rides in Disneyland: the Mad Tea Party and Alice in Wonderland. This one was a trippy movie and just overall confusing for the main character, which was, I mean, it's a very visually spectacular film to watch. I really liked it.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there was too many things going on and too confusing. I kind of felt exhausted after watching
Yeah, then I guess you're just like right in her spot as well. She felt very exhausted by the end of it.
it. Yeah, like I was just like one, I was like, I felt like it took forever, so many twists and turns, and it was just so confusing. And keeping up with it and trying to figure out everything, and just watching it was just I don't know, exhausting. But I guess it was a good.
Yeah. And it just occurred to me that the Tim Burton versions are not remakes of Alice in Wonderland, but sequels of Alice to Wonderland. And it just now like hit me that that's what's going on.
Are
Have you
you
seen those
sure
movies?
though?
I
I've
am.
seen I've seen I don't know which one I've seen, but I've seen one where it's basically the same plot. Like she's chasing the rabbit. Just that the queen looks different. She's
Yeah, she has a
shorter.
big head.
Yeah. But it was
Yeah,
basically the same thing, not a sequel.
yeah, it's basically the same thing, but but like throughout the film, that's why it confused me a little bit too. But throughout the film, they're like, "Remember Alice, remember who you are," and she's like, "I never been here before," and everyone's like, "Yeah, you have. You've been here. We know who you are." And then at the
Oh,
end, she's like, "Oh yeah, I remember," and it shows a smaller version of her, and I'm pretty sure that's what the Disney this is supposed to be.
oh, okay. That makes sense.
Hmm. All right, and on to our next film, Mickey Mouse Delayed Date, 1947. This one is our shortest one, I think. This one was 7 minutes long, and it's just a classic Disney cartoon short. And the ride that we're kind of like trying to connect it to is Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, just because there's Mickey and Minnie inside of it. Um, yeah, I enjoyed it for sure. It was a classic cartoon. It's really good.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Um, I, the funny like the part that I remember from that the most is when he's like all dressed up nice and fancy. When he gets there, he's like all ripped up and dirty, and Minnie's like, "Oh, perfect!" Like that's exactly how he was supposed to end up. Like,
Yeah, because the theme of the dance, which he didn't know, was like falling on hard times.
yeah,
Oh, that was funny. Did you know that the Steamboat Willie version of Mickey Mouse will be in public domain in 2024?
nope, I had no idea.
Yeah, so kind of like the same thing with Winnie the Pooh. If anybody wants to do that, but just with the Steamboat Willie version though of Mickey Mouse.
It's gonna be interesting to see what other people come up with.
Yeah, for sure. And for our next um movie, Chippendale Rescue Rangers. Actually, this is not a movie. This is a show. We just watched the first episode. This came out in 1989, and we're basing it off the ride of Chippendale's Gadget Coaster. Um, it was a good episode. I think there are better episodes. I just didn't put in the time to research those better episodes.
Yeah, I mean, it was the first time I've seen it or even heard about it. I really had no idea what that was, but it was pretty
I
good. I liked it.
I remember watching it as a kid, but it's like such a vague memory, and their voices completely threw me off.
Is that not how they used to be, or did they change over time?
And okay, so when I was like I said, I haven't seen it in years since I was a kid, so I'm pretty sure I had a different idea of what their voice sounded like.
Yeah.
And it was just a complete surprise when the way they sounded like that. They sounded like Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I was gonna be like, it was very similar to Owen and the Chicken. I wouldn't be surprised if they somehow connected.
If it's like same voice actor or something like that. From the cartoon version of Alvin and the Chipmunks, not the live action. Those are different actors, of course. They also have a movie like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I forgot the full name of the movie. It just came out though, and it even has Peter Pan in that one too as the bad guy.
Yeah, I can see Peter Pan being a bad guy. I mean, I already don't like his character, so I think
Yeah.
he's the bad guy from the very beginning.
Let's not trash his character too much. The actor had a pretty tragic history afterwards.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, the original actor. That's
yeah, he died after being dumped by Disney at like what the age of 13 or somewhere around there. He tried to be in other stuff. I know he moved out of his house not long after he got kicked out of Disney. It's because the person who ended up buying Disney or controlling Disney didn't like child actors, and then he ended up dying of a drug overdose at like 31, which was unfortunate for sure. All right, and up to our next film, Finding Nemo 2003. And it has the ride Finding Nemo Submarine Voyage. This one was a very good watch, and it has been so long since I've seen Nemo, and I don't remember the beginning being so sad. Like I remember what happened, but it just hit a lot harder now for some reason.
yeah. I don't think I remember the beginning of movies much. Because I remember like most of like the whole thing of what Nemo was about and basically the main points, but the beginning I definitely did not remember. And yeah, that was sad. And it was understandable why the dad was so paranoid about the ocean. He literally saw it all of his kids except for one die and his wife.
Oh yeah, for sure. He even had to move. You pointed that out. I didn't realize it, but yeah, he moved from the drop off to kind of more into the center of the reef.
Yeah, I realized that when he was older and the boy was waking up for school, like I saw it and I was like, wait, now they're surrounded by a bunch of stuff. Like, I mean, it could be that he stayed there and the reef just grew, but I don't think so. I'm pretty sure he had to move away from the edge.
Yeah, no, he was on the edge, and then he ended up in the center. No, so all that didn't grow around him.
Okay.
Um. Oh, also, did you notice the reference for The Incredibles?
Not until you pointed it out. It was at the dentist, right?
Yeah, it was at the dentist with what was it when the seagull came in and started squawking around, and then Darla was screaming.
Yeah, that child she's a demon.
Yeah.
I can't wait for you said also that at Disney we're gonna be able to talk to Crush.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
excited
yeah.
for that.
I did mention that. Yeah, there's a talk to crush kind of thing. It's meant for like kids, tweens kind of stuff, but well, when has that stopped me?
All right, I'm excited. When you said that, I was like, oh yes, that's what I'm going forward. I'm looking forward to.
And on to our next film of Pirates of the Caribbean 2003. And it has the ride of the same name, Pirates of the Caribbean. That ride, so we just chose the first movie because that's mostly what the ride is about. And I think the first movie is the best out of all of them. It's a solid 10 out of 10 movie. But I personally I favor the second one just because of it has like more like creepy elements to it with Davy Jones, his tentacles.
Yeah, I think I've watched maybe just the first and second. I don't think I've watched any other movies. But I do remember that squid-looking guy.
Yeah, you don't have to watch the fifth one or the fourth one. I mean, you could just watch the original trilogy. The third one wasn't as good as the first and second, but in no way was it bad. The fifth one was bad to me. They should have just stopped. They made Jack look more dumb. He's always looked dumb, but he was intelligent and stuff like that. Like he planned it out.
Yeah.
But in the last one, it just seemed like he was just dumb and was just stringing along to it. I think you can
Oh,
see that in the fourth one. You can see him like planning everything out.
yeah. Well, I think they should have just stopped it at the first one.
I don't think they should have stopped it at the first one. Like the original trilogy is good. That's it. They could have ended it right there, but they wanted to make more money, and they kind of failed at the fifth one. And on to our other movie, Jungle Cruise 2021, with the ride of the same name, Jungle Cruise. I'm pretty sure you're gonna like this ride a lot more because it has to do with a lot more nature stuff, which I know you enjoy.
Yeah. I hope that they have Dwayne Johnson on there as well.
Oh yeah, he's there. He's on every boat ride. There's like multiple copies of him.
A cutout of him or his
No, no, no.
physical form?
It's his physical form as clones. There's like many versions of Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
I wish. I know that's not true.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of the same thing with the corny jokes and stuff like that.
Yes, which I actually think they were funny. Like watching the movie, I was laughing at his jokes.
Yeah,
Those
they
people
were
just
funny.
they just have no humor.
No, not at all. I really like the cast with Dwayne the Rock Johnson, Emily Blunt, and Jack Whitehall. Um, well, Dwayne the Rock Johnson's always charismatic and stuff like that, and then Emily Blunt brought more of a, I don't want to say serious, but kind of, I don't know, I don't know how to describe it, but she was good. I enjoy it. And then Jack Whitehall, I really like him. He's pretty funny, and I think he made an appearance, or supposedly he made an appearance And Frozen 1, he had like a voice part, but they ended up cutting him out for some reason in editing. Oh, it's weird. But Jungle Book, or not Jungle Book, Jungle Cruise and Haunted Mansion and Pirates of the Caribbean were original ride ideas by Disney's Imagineers, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, that is actually cool.
Anyways, this one's gonna be very exciting.
Yeah. Well, it kind of reminded me of the way that like most of the Dwayne Johnson movies are similar. Like I feel like he even dresses the same in most of them. At least the ones that have to do with like finding treasure in the jungle. They can be very similar to me. Sometimes I think I combine them together.
Yeah, like Jumanji and Red Notice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does do a lot of the similar works, and then he kind of dresses the same in a lot of them.
Yeah, but I mean, they're still good.
Yeah, I like when he's charismatic and stuff like that in those kind of movies.
Yeah.
And for our next movie, well, I wouldn't say movie. So this is where I kind of changed the list. For the Star Wars movies, originally I was planning to do 1 through 6, but it didn't make sense because 7 through 9 are Disney, is part of Disney, and not 1 through 6. So I kind of gave Yenny the kind of recap of those first 6, and then showed her 7 through 9. So for Star Wars 7 through 9, they have the right Star Tours, Rise of the Resistance, and the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. What did you feel about these movies?
They were okay. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Star Wars. I'm glad you didn't make me watch more than those 3. But I mean, they're okay. It was Star Wars. What did you think about them?
I don't enjoy them as much as I enjoy 1 through 6. I hate when they kind of do future stuff, as in like they continue the story at a future point in time, and it kind of establishes and cements everything that happens in between. You know what I mean? Where it's like Luke Skywalker ended up a hermit crab and stuff like that when he wouldn't be like that. Um, I don't know. Oh, it should have been Finn. It should have been Finn and Ray. Let me tell you this. Oh my god, it should have been them.
No, like I disagree with you on that because Finn didn't have the mentality that she has. I didn't agree that she ended up with Dark Master, or no, was that his name?
Kylo Ren.
How I think Dark Master is something else. But I didn't agree with that either because that was so toxic.
That was
She
incredibly
deserves-
toxic.
That was incredibly toxic. But I don't think that her and Finn would have worked out because he's not to her level. Like she's way out of his league.
Yeah, no, and then, well, at least Han Solo got what he wanted. He got to die. Like the actor Harrison Ford, he's been wanting to be killed off since the first Star Wars movies he was in. He was like, I want to die, but now they killed him.
That's kind of sad. Why would he do that? Why does he not want to continue this whole series?
I don't know, but compared to the other ones, these 3 suck. I kind of like what they're doing now with some of the stuff. So like the Mandalorian, and then you got the continuation of the last season of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and other stuff like that. And you got new projects. Oh, the Ahsoka series is coming out, and I talked about that earlier. I'm very excited for that one because I saw the show Rebels.
Yeah.
That one was pretty good.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know any of those movies. I just know that Star Wars is not my favorite. The characters are creepy. I know they're aliens, and I know they're not supposed to look. I don't even know. Like I don't know. The way they look just freaks me out.
I like the puppetry stuff. I like the prosthetics. I like the costume stuff. I really enjoy everything about it. I think it's really good. But I would say that about these new Star Wars series, this new the sequel trilogy, is that it looks amazing, right? It has great CGI. It has great practical effects. I'll say that about that. It's really good.
Yes, I'll say that. The effects and everything are pretty good. I think you did force me to watch one of the really early ones, like maybe the first one that came out of Star Wars. I don't
No,
know if you
no,
remember.
no. Yeah, I was trying to force you to watch Revenge of the Sith, which is my favorite one, but you fell asleep. So
So, what I do remember from what I did watch, the effects they've got a lot better
oh
than
yeah,
what they were before.
and like the original Star Wars trilogy, it's all practical stuff. But not the best CGI. Well, they didn't have CGI. It was all practical effects.
Yeah. Did you
Later
say
on,
something about the actors
hmm?
not happy that they had to do
Oh
certain
yeah, yeah,
stuff?
for the prequel trilogy. Yeah, it was kind of harder for them because everything was green screen or blue screen or whatever, and so they didn't have as much interactions with people, I would say, as the original trilogy did.
Oh, yeah. So you said that they had to like pretend they were
Yeah,
there.
yeah. So it was harder for them to act because they were acting against nothing. All right. The next movie on our list is The Sword in the Stone from 1963, and this one has the King Arthur carousel, and this one also has a cool feature in front of the carousel. It has like the sword in the stone that you could try to pull out, which I
Oh,
think is pretty cool.
you can actually pull it out, or you can try to pull it out.
You could try to pull it out.
Has anyone ever actually pulled it out? Is it meant to be pulled out, or they didn't make it that way?
No, they made it that way, but like I think what happens is that like a Disney worker is somewhere around there, and like they choose whether or not you can pull it out of the sword.
Okay, that's cool. That's interesting.
And then some people try to like forcefully pull it out, and they sometimes break it.
Yikes! Okay, I won't try that hard to pull it out.
Yeah, just try a little bit. Just try a little tug.
Okay.
What did you think about this film? I think
It,
I'm pretty sure I showed it to you before, but we had to rewatch it for this list.
yeah, I kind of remember it, but it was definitely a good one. I really liked it. I like the effects. I love the way that he changes to like a fish, a bird, a squirrel, and then the owl. He's probably my favorite character.
Yeah, he was pretty funny. I remember watching this movie a lot as a kid on VHS.
Yeah, it was a good movie, a good kids movie for sure.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and it was cool that he could see into the future.
Yeah, like he could see, but he couldn't really see. Like he
Yeah.
knew the main key points, but he couldn't
Mm-hmm.
see it clearly.
You know what else? You know what else? Who else could do that?
Cool.
Jedi's from Star Wars.
Of course.
In conclusion, Marlin is a Jedi.
Secretly.
Secretly. Um, yeah, and then like whenever he tries to to um talk to Arthur about something, he's just so confused.
Oh my gosh, mentioning TVs and airplanes and trains, and he's like, "What?"
It's like me trying to explain a bunch of things to you.
Well,
Exactly
you were
like
talking about Star Wars.
that. What else? Oh, and the songs are very catchy too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
And on to our next film, Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark from 1981. So, this one is not on Disney Plus. Um, Mostly because of the distribution rights. Paramount Plus owns those rights, so I had to um download the free week from Paramount Plus to watch this one,
Yeah.
and it's good. Indiana Jones is really good. What do you feel about this one?
It was good. It was really good. I liked it. It was funny. I think it was funny, especially when he went looking for the what was it called, the Lost Ark,
Mm-hmm.
and he ended up finding the girl that he thought was dead, but she was actually tied up, and then he leaves her tied up.
Well, he had to leave her tied up because then they would
No,
have started looking for her.
no. He left her tied up because he didn't want to get caught getting the ark. But he still got caught getting the ark. He could have let her
Yeah.
go.
Did you hear that one thing where like if Indiana Jones wasn't in this movie, everything else would have still stayed the same. Like the Nazis would have found the Ark anyways, because they were close to finding it. They still would have opened it, and they all would have died still because of the power of the Ark.
Yeah. But then what would have happened afterwards?
I guess it would have just been there. I guess. I don't really know what would have happened.
Talking about Nazis, how come Disneyland has all these movies that were extremely racist, and now this one has Nazis in it?
Well, there's a difference. With this one, they're like fighting against racism. You know, it's Indiana Jones. He's the main character. We're not like cheering for the Nazis. Well, unlike Song of the South, Peter Pan, and stuff like that, they were made during a different time, which had that racist stuff going on.
Yeah, that's crazy. I guess I didn't really grow up watching Disney films, but now that I'm watching these and realizing like how like people grew up, kids grew up watching this stuff. That's why there's so many racist people. Yeah, this is not helping the cause.
It was a thing back then. But that's why they put the description in the front where they're like, just keep in mind this is not our views now. This is just what it was at the time.
Yeah, now they do, but before, like, no wonder people are racist. They grew up watching stuff like this, thinking it was okay.
Yeah. Oh, did you know that during the fight scene? So I don't know if you remember where the guy was like doing all these cool sword tricks, and then Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones, just pulls out his gun and shoot him.
Yes, that was funny.
Yeah, it's because Harrison Ford had like a very upset stomach at the time. I think a lot of the cast. But anyway, so he just had to use the restroom. He was like, you know what, and then without the gun.
He was like, no fight scene, not today.
Yeah. Just get that iconic scene. I thought it was pretty cool. And then what else? And I can't remember. I know the boulder from this movie is in the ride, but I don't know if they start like talking about the second one on the ride, which is I'm gonna have to find out when we get there. So we'll see.
Yeah. We have too many on the list to include it.
Yeah. Yes. I think number one's enough.
Yeah, it gave me the gist of the idea, the main point.
And on to our next film, Buzz Lightyear Star Command from 2000. This one was also hard to find. This is not on Disney Plus. I had to go onto a streaming website that only streams cartoons for free and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. You know, I can watch a lot of cartoons that I can't see anywhere else, except what was it? A lot of DC stuff isn't on there. A bunch of animation stuff isn't, which kind of sucks. But that's okay. Anyways, Buzz Lightyear Star Command. This one has the ride Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters. I'm pretty sure the Astro Blasters is more based off of the movie Buzz Lightyear, not the new one that came out, but the one with Toy Story. I just thought it would have been better if we just focused on just Buzz Lightyear Star Command.
Yeah, I didn't even know this was a thing. Like, I knew that in the movie Toy Story, the kid Andy, he's the one watching this show or this cartoon, and that's why he wants a toy, right? That's where the toys come in.
I would assume so. It's not the same thing, but you know, it's fine to assume, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I assume.
Well, no. Well, the thing is, the movie that just came out is the movie that Andy watched to get Buzz Lightyear.
Oh, okay. But when Toy Story came out, was this coming out? Like, did it all come out together, or was this after?
No. This one came out in 2000. And when did Toy Story come out? Like 1990 something.
It's that old.
Yeah, I mean, once we get to the other part of the list, we are going to watch Toy Story. You're going to see the difference in animation from the first one to the fourth one. It is a big jump.
Oh, yeah, I remember. I've watched the Toy Story movies. Not the most recent one with the fork. I haven't really watched that one. But I've watched all the other ones.
No. He's not a fork. He's a spork.
Okay, a spork. He's technically trash. He identifies as trash.
Okay, that's true. But yeah, I used to watch this shows a lot as a kid, along with like what was it? The Little Mermaid show and the Tarzan show, the Lilo show, Lilo and Stitch one. Those were all pretty cool. And oh my god, I remember remember watching this one all the time as a kid. Buzz Lightyear is just one of my favorite ones. Buzz Lightyear and Woody are both my favorite out of everyone. But I think everyone prefers either one of those two. Or Jesse. But Buzz Lightyear was definitely my favorite.
Yeah. I think my favorite one was the dinosaur.
Yeah?
I don't even know his name, but he was a good character.
Rex. I think it was Rex.
Rex. Yes.
All right.
But
And
overall, I liked it. I liked the Buzz movie. It was pretty interesting.
all right, so now we're at the end of our video. Out of all the movies, which one was your favorite? Starting with your favorite animated one.
My favorite, and this was even before I even watched all these movies. It stayed my favorite though, which there was no change there. But Finding Nemo, that's always been one of my
Finding Nemo?
favorite movies. Yes,
That's a good one.
I guess
would
if I have to like choose or from because most of these I had never watched before. A different one other than Finding Nemo, I would have said either Mickey Mouse or The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. Those two I enjoyed.
Those were solid ones. Definitely. I didn't expect The Adventures of Ichabod to be one of your favorites, but it is something different though.
Yeah. It was different. And I liked it. I liked the stories that it told. They weren't too bad.
Yeah. Mine, I would say for animated, would be the Pinocchio one. I've always enjoyed Pinocchio.
Yeah, I mean it's alright, I guess.
It's alright. It
It's
did
alright.
kind of jump all over the place. It was just more of a childhood kind of thing that I just remember Pinocchio a lot.
Yeah. I just feel like now, like maybe if I was a kid, I would probably be like, yeah, Pinocchio is really good. But now I just feel like it's overrated. Like I don't know. There's so many movies about it. Like let's talk about something else, something different. And I can never like not watch Nemo. Like Nemo is something I would always watch, and I watch 1,000 times because it's just that good.
There's like 100 adaptations of Pinocchio, but only one Nemo.
Exactly. Exactly.
Makes sense. Makes sense. All right, which one's out of this list is your favorite live action one?
The live action one, I would say that it is Pirates of the Caribbean.
I will agree with you too.
Johnny Depp is just he's the one.
Yeah, he's so good in this movie. This whole movie is just overall great.
Yeah. Another one that I hadn't watched before this list was like Jungle Cruise.
Mhm.
Obviously Star Wars, but that's not even on my list of being good.
It's a movie to watch.
But I would say Jungle Cruise comes in close.
I'd say Pirates of the Caribbean, then Indiana Jones, and then Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It's a little both, a little animated, a little live action.
Been a big fan of that. Like that one, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I don't know if I like the cartoon and live action together at the same time.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I don't know if that's my thing.
That makes sense. All right. So overall, which one's your favorite movie?
Overall, it's Nemo. Finding Nemo.
Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
For me, I'd say not Pinocchio. Pirates of the Caribbean. It's just I could keep watching that one over and over again.
Over Indiana Jones and Star Wars?
Well, first of all, I didn't like the last Star Wars ones, so.
Still, I thought you were all about Star Wars.
Yeah, just not these.
Okay, that's surprising. I didn't think that was going to be your top choice.
Yeah, out of all of the ones that we watched on this list, yeah. All right. Thank you guys for listening, and I will be posting more videos soon once we get through Adventureland and then Universal movies. And have a great day.
Please hit the like button, the share button, the subscription. Hit all the buttons. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.